The royals are all about keeping up appearances, so you know there must be problems if people are seeing this many signs of trouble in these high-profile marriages.
In 2019, Prince William was caught up in some scathing rumors involving infidelity. No longer the poster boy for a happy husband, William's alleged affair with Rose Hanbury, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, popped up in the tabloids and quickly pitted Rose and Princess Catherine against one another. The Sun even claimed that the Princess of Wales had iced Rose out of the high society circle that they once shared. The gossip mill started working double time from there, and whispers about an extramarital affair on William's part became quite rampant.
By the way, you be careful what you say now, because these guys, they're filming.
I know!
That's not to say that Rose and Catherine haven't done what they think is necessary to stomp out the smoke. Rose's son Oliver was chosen as one of King Charles III's pages of honor during the coronation on May 6, 2023. As a result, Rose was in attendance on the big day. The seemingly warring duo also threatened legal action over the rumors, casting aside any narrative that involved Rose and William. However, that didn't stop rumors from continuing to emerge, with one being that William allegedly spent Valentine's Day 2023 with Rose. No matter where the truth lies, Catherine and William can't seem to escape the whispers surrounding the prince's supposed infidelity. It's not often that Prince William and Princess Catherine are captured in a particularly awkward moment. However, that was the case when the two traveled to Jordan for Crown Prince Al Hussein and Princess Rajwa Al Hussein's wedding in the summer of 2023. In a video captured of Catherine speaking to the bride, William appears to get more and more agitated before making a move-it-along gesture with his hands. Naturally, the clip made its way to social media, and royal watchers were quick to point out the gesture, including body language expert Judy James. James told Express, "This is not one of his finest moments when it comes to either body language or words. While he has clearly moved on from the meet and greet with the bride and groom, there appears to be no logical reason for William to hurry his wife along." Though the world reeled over the death of Queen Elizabeth II, it was almost more surprising to see Prince William, Princess Catherine, Prince Harry, and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, reunite. Making an appearance outside Windsor, the two couples greeted mourners and took in the memorial objects left in honor of the Queen. While it was a welcome sight for some, it presented an analytical moment for others, including body language expert Tanya Raymond. While commenting on William and Catherine, Raymond concluded that their family interactions with one another are different from the overt affection Harry and Meghan show towards each other, highlighting a particular moment when it appeared as though William ignored his wife while she waited for her car door to be opened. Raymond told Fox News Digital of the two couples, "William is not going to open the door because he knows there's somebody to open the door for her. For Meghan and Harry, it's more of an affectionate moment. This is a different kind of relationship, and this is also the relationship that you put out to the public." Raymond went on to add, "When it comes to the hand-holding, there is a difference between the two brothers. I think it suggests more of what William and Kate feel is appropriate and what Meghan and Harry feel comfortable with. They know what they're supposed to demonstrate, so they do that." Before Meghan Markle came onto the scene, royal watchers were almost always guaranteed to see Prince William, Princess Catherine, and Prince Harry attending all their events together. A seemingly inseparable trio, they represented the new generations of royals, or so it seemed. A former staff member of King Charles's household, Jamie Lowther Pinkerton, who spoke to the Sunday Times in 2019, broke open this narrative, revealing that William is always in control. Before Meghan, William dictated what his brother did and said, but now that Harry is on his own, William's controlling behavior is directed primarily at his wife. Lowther Pinkerton told the outlet, "William's quite controlling, and he was in control when it was just the three of them, but now he's not." Lowther Pinkerton went on to say that the Prince of Wales would simply need to get used to not being in control anymore, something that could flare his reportedly quick temper. From telling his wife to quickly sit down at the 2019 BAFTAs, to Catherine's obvious frustration with her husband on occasion, there have been a number of instances that have fueled the rumor fire. Of all the royal feuds that have taken place in recent history, Prince William and Prince Harry's estrangement has taken the cake. Amid the devolving relationship, Harry has been vocal about his experiences within the royal family, while William is said to have grown increasingly angry.
Working as family does have its challenges, of course it does.
But who deals with William's anger? According to an insider who spoke to the Daily Mail, it's Princess Catherine who apparently spends most of her time trying to contend with her husband's reported temper. The source told the outlet, she treated the whole issue in terms of supporting her husband who, while angry at some of what was being said and done, was largely just consumed with sadness about what was happening with his brother. The source went on to add that Catherine has also been trying to focus on the well-being of her family's staff. The insider continued, William flies off the handle at any sign of Kate being patronized and stamps that out very quickly. It's one of his triggers. Over the years, many people have come up with great ideas for her, but if they are put across in a dismissive way, they've got pretty short shrift from him. While royal drama comes and goes, it's not often that the actual members of the family comment on the most high-profile rumors. However, in his Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan, the Duke of Sussex addressed the press office tactics that targeted his wife and protected his brother, essentially pouring fuel on a small spark. Though he didn't get too into specifics, Harry did not mince his words.
Happy to lie to protect my brother, and yet for 3 years, they were never willing to tell the truth.
Many royal watchers took Harry's statement as a hint that the cracks in Prince William and Princess Catherine's marriage were growing in real time, given that the couple regularly receives positive press coverage. While indicating that far more went on behind closed doors than previously thought, Meghan later remarked,
"It wasn't just being thrown to the wolves, I was being fed to the wolves."
Further commenting on his brother's marriage and the palace's attempts to preserve William and Catherine's image, Harry told ABC News' Michael Strahan,
They pitched the Waleses, right, of which Kate and William are now, against the Sussexes, me and my wife.
Almost every couple out there has some sort of pet name for their significant other. But when it comes to Prince William and Princess Catherine, the prince's nicknames for his wife have regularly been seen as digs. According to royal author Tom Quinn, author of Gilded Youth, An Intimate History of Growing Up in the Royal Family, William has 2 pet names for his wife, Babykins and Duchess of Doolittle. While the first could just be seen as a playful take on baby or darling, the Duchess of Doolittle remark is believed to be a condescending jab. While speaking to Fox News Digital, Quinn explained that Duchess of Doolittle is supposedly William's way of referencing Catherine's lack of a professional life ahead of their wedding. Quinn also details in his book, thanks to a royal source, that William calls his wife darling when he is mad at her. But according to the source who spoke to Quinn, the couple's worst interactions come when they are in the presence of overbearing palace staff. Prince William and Princess Catherine are known for their monumental arguments, thanks in part to the Prince of Wales' short temper. While speaking to Fox News Digital, royal author Tom Quinn said William and Catherine's arguments have allegedly gotten violent. Quinn went on to add that some of the couple's arguments have resulted in the two not speaking to one another for an extended period of time. Quinn claimed to the outlet, "Of course, privately, William and Kate, like all couples, shout at each other and say unkind things to each other. But Kate is an appeaser by instinct, and William always gives way as he had more than enough emotional turmoil, divorce, and disruption as a child." Providing additional context to Fox News Digital, Quinn added, "They want to be seen as an ordinary couple with the same stresses of having children, work, and everything else that life brings." All eyes were on the royals on May 6, 2023, King Charles's coronation day. It was the celebration decades in the making, and while it was certainly an affair to remember, many royal watchers picked up on what they believed to be subtle clues dropped by Prince William and Princess Catherine. Some eagle-eyed fans quickly suspected something was amiss based on William and Catherine's body language while walking up to Westminster Abbey. William was in mid-conversation while Catherine looked down at the ground, both giving off a frustrated energy. Of course, they could have been just stressed out over the fact that it was one of the biggest days in their family's history, but some suspected that something deeper was going on. One Twitter user commented on a photo of William, Catherine, and their children walking up the Westminster Abbey steps. The user wrote, "I know nothing about royalty, but that's not a photo of a happy family." Another Twitter user focused on Catherine specifically, writing, "Such an unhappy-looking couple. She isn't pretending today." When Prince Harry was still immersed in royal life, he was often seen as the sidekick to Prince William and Princess Catherine's storybook romance. After his marriage to Meghan Markle, however, Harry became more emboldened to stick up for himself and his wife, even if that meant telling his truth about his sister-in-law. Taking aim at her in his memoir, Spare, Harry held nothing back. This inevitably caused issues for William and Catherine.
For historical reference, the truth needs to be there, and it needs to come from me.
A source exclusively claimed to Radar Online that the Princess of Wales was offended by the book's contents and became frustrated that William wouldn't defend her publicly. The source told the outlet, Kate felt William should stick up for her more, yet William and the palace thought that saying nothing was best. And so, silence became the tactic. the palace never released a statement regarding Harry's book or its content, while the royals themselves actively avoided questions about it. The source added that Catherine hoped that the book would encourage William to say something and work on his temper. Given that the royals stayed silent on Harry's book, as well as other large-scale issues like Harry and Meghan's New York City paparazzi chase, it's clear that the plan is to charge ahead.
When Harry and Meghan sat for their interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, they revealed that someone in the royal family had asked them what color their son's skin would be once he was born. They didn't name the relative who asked the inappropriate question, but that didn't stop royal watchers from speculating about who could have been so ignorant. Royal expert and author Omid Scobie's book Endgame hit shelves toward the end of 2023, enmeshing the Windsors with further scandal. A Dutch translation of the book inadvertently named King Charles III and Princess Catherine as the royals who uttered the now infamous remarks. Although Scobie claims to know who made the remarks, he explained on the Dutch program RTL Boulevard, "There's never been a version that I've produced that has names in it. Unfortunately, I can't speak Dutch, so I haven't seen the copy for myself, so if there have been any translation errors, I'm sure the publishers got it under control." The book was pulled from Dutch stores, but by then the news had spread, leading to renewed questions about Prince William and Catherine's relationship with Harry and Meghan. A spokesperson for Buckingham Palace revealed that they were exploring all options in the wake of the error, though it's unclear everything that would entail. In late November, a video taken by People magazine's Simon Perry captured reporters asking the couple about the book's damning details, all of which William and Catherine ignored. In an interview with Fox News, Nick Bullen said of the couple ignoring the press, "I think a tiredness would probably be the way it's being felt in the Prince and Princess of Wales household." Ever since Meghan Markle began dating Prince Harry, royal watchers began speculating about how Princess Catherine really felt about the Suits actor. Now, of course, Prince Harry and Meghan have left the monarchy amid a bitter turn in the relationship between the brothers.
It never needed to be this way.
William and Catherine, on the other hand, remain the face of the royal family's next generation. The relationship between Harry and William may have even caused issues in William's relationship with Catherine. The royal couple reportedly disagrees about whether to mend relations. A source told Us Weekly, "Kate has no desire to communicate with Harry nor Meghan. There's been too much that has happened and she's not ready yet." William, on the other hand, might want to patch things up with his brother. Another insider alleged to Life and Style, William wants to extend an olive branch to Harry. It's a shocking about-face, but he feels it's long overdue. The source went on to claim that when William told Catherine how he was feeling, it didn't go over well. The source revealed, "She was incensed, and she and William got into a big fight. She'll never forgive Meghan for what she did." This harmony may not be entirely new for Prince William and Princess Catherine. Back in 2017, the Prince and Princess of Wales traveled to Poland and attended a party in recognition of Queen Elizabeth II's birthday. In a speech, Prince William told the crowd that he and Catherine were excited to visit the country, but according to body language expert Judy James, photos made it clear the princess was furious with her husband at the time. James told Express, "When we see a photo of a royal looking angry or stressed, it can often be a body language flash, a very fleeting facial expression that has been taken out of context." That apparently wasn't the case with the Warsaw event, and it usually isn't the case with Catherine, whom James said is very good at controlling her expression. James went on to add, "There are several photos of the occasion that show her looking unhappy or even throwing William some pointed looks while he tried to remain neutral. It's unclear what the discord was about, but it was obvious to those who knew what to look for." On St. Patrick's Day in 2023, Princess Catherine took over as Colonel of the Irish Guards. Prince William used to hold the position, but various royal duties were rearranged when King Charles III took the throne, leaving the guard in Catherine's hands. The St. Patrick's Day celebration was Catherine's first event in charge of the regiment, and understandably, she took her duty seriously. While there, the Princess of Wales gave her husband a stare that Judy James said indicated a power play between the two of them. James told Express, "She stands fully to attention as she fixes William with what looks like a seriously cold, hard stare." Calling Catherine's body language military rather than royal, James added, "William's response to her stare is a very puckered-looking smile." Body language expert and psychologist Darren Stanton told Marie Claire that Catherine's outfit choice was an indicator that she was trying to exert power over her husband. Calling her teal coat a superhero color, Stanton noted, "It's clear she wanted to stand out from the crowd and assert her authority over William and the other guests."
Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, shattered records upon its release. As millions rushed to get a copy, the book totaled $1.43 million in sales in the first 24 hours of its release in the UK, US, and Canada. Spare went on to become the fastest-selling nonfiction book in history. That is nothing short of impressive, but apparently, Meghan Markle wasn't so sure the book was a good idea. A source told The Telegraph that Meghan had some doubts about the book and whether it was a good idea that Harry shared so much of his personal life. Yet, she still supported him.
I don't think that we can ever have peace with my family unless the truth is out there.
However, her support was questioned when she wasn't at Harry's side while he was promoting the book. This raised some eyebrows, with GB News host Dan Wooten saying, "It was the first sign of Meghan trying to distance herself from all of the collateral PR damage caused by Spare." Royal biographer Christopher Anderson told Fox News that he suspected much of the same. Anderson speculated, Meghan clearly doesn't want to make it look as if she's somehow manipulating Harry or that she's had a hand in shaping his memoirs. Many saw Meghan's absence as a sign that she was distancing herself from Harry and his ventures, especially because they are usually involved in each other's projects. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's 2022 Christmas card featured a photograph of them taken at an event that year. While this wasn't exactly out of the ordinary, the Daily Mail pointed out that the couple released a Christmas card featuring their children the previous year. It's actually pretty customary for members of the royal family to use a family photo on their Christmas cards. Prince William and Princess Catherine, for example, blessed fans with a stunning family photo once again. Now, it might be possible that we're all placing way too much weight on a simple Christmas card photo. However, the choice of photograph did take away from that family feeling we tend to expect from holiday cards, especially those coming from the royal family. The fact that the couple chose a photo that anyone could already find on Google didn't do much to ease worried minds. To make matters worse, Harry and Meghan also failed to mention their 5-year wedding anniversary publicly in 2023. Obviously, this led many to think that all might not be well. Speaking to the Daily Star, relationship coach Tara Blair Ball said she suspects the couple is exhausted from all the drama that occurred in the past couple of years, but she's optimistic that their marriage is stronger than ever. So maybe they have nothing to worry about after all? There was an immense amount of speculation about whether or not Prince Harry and Meghan Markle would attend the coronation of Harry's dad, King Charles III. Many hoped it would serve as a way for them to finally reunite with the family, but while Harry accepted the invitation, Meghan politely declined. Given Harry's strained relationship with his family, Meghan's presence might have provided some comfort and support. However, she stayed behind in California with their children. As it turned out, Charles's coronation was on the same day as Prince Archie's 4th birthday. So the narrative was that Meghan stayed behind to celebrate with the little royal. Harry did, however, leave for America almost immediately after the coronation ceremony was over, so he could spend the last few hours of Archie's birthday with him. Royal biographer Sally Bedell Smith told People that Archie's birthday coinciding with the coronation was an elegant solution, which gave them a good reason for Meghan not to come. She added that it was only natural the Duchess wanted to avoid the British press. After Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, Meghan received even more negative coverage. According to Bedell, the Duchess likely wanted to avoid a repeat of that. She might very well be right. Either that or Meghan and Harry were thankful to part ways for a few hours. We'll never know for sure. When a married couple can no longer stand to be in the same house together, you know there's trouble. That said, rumors have been swirling that Prince Harry sometimes goes off to a hotel on his own to take a breather from his home life. Sources told The Sun that Harry has a room reserved at a hotel near his and Meghan's California home, where he sometimes goes for some alone time. Not only that, but apparently he also frequents the San Vicente bungalows in Los Angeles, a swanky and very exclusive private members club. Sources told The Sun that the club serves as an escape place for the prince. Whether from his wife or the public, it is unclear. It is the perfect place to hide out, though. Members aren't allowed to approach each other, and cameras are banned. Amid rumors that all is not well with the couple's marriage, news about Harry allegedly frequenting hotels and private clubs without Meghan was not a good look for the couple. As a result, Harry's rep told Page Six that the rumors are utter nonsense. The rep simply stated to the outlet, "This is not true." Avid royal watchers will know that Meghan Markle first stepped out without her engagement ring while she was pregnant with Prince Archie. One can argue that she left her ring at home for fear that she wouldn't be able to get it off again. It's common for fingers to swell during pregnancy, so this one could be explained away. But recently, the Duchess was seen stepping out without her engagement ring once again. While she and Prince Harry were attending the Women of Vision Awards in New York, fans noticed that Meghan's ring finger was noticeably bare. She was also spotted without the ring in Los Angeles previously, and no one knows why she's not wearing it. It sure is odd, considering that she previously went to a lot of trouble to have it altered so the band was thinner, which made the diamonds look even bigger. She also gushed about how much she loved the ring, saying in an interview,
It's incredible.
"It is indeed a special piece of jewelry. Harry selected a diamond from Botswana and 2 smaller diamonds from his mother's collection for the ring. He also had some input in the design, which was handled by jewelers Cleve & Company. So the ring clearly holds a great deal of sentimental value to Harry, which makes it all the more strange that Meghan isn't wearing it these days." Missing engagement rings aside, there are some sources who claim that Prince Harry is only staying married to Meghan Markle because of his children. These claims come from Princess Diana's former royal butler, Paul Burrell. Burrell wrote a book in 2003 called A Royal Duty that revealed intimate details about the late princess after her death. Harry and Prince William were upset about the book, calling it a cold and overt betrayal, according to Sky News. Well, Burrell still appears to enjoy having his voice heard, because he's been telling everyone who would listen that the couple's marriage is on the rocks and that a divorce is imminent. GB News gave him and another former royal insider, Lady Colin Campbell, some time on the air to make their speculations public. Campbell alleged that Harry had already been in contact with divorce lawyers. This information, she claims, comes from 5 separate sources. Sky News contributor Daisy Cousins is a little skeptical, however. Cousins mentioned that she wouldn't dismiss the possibility that Harry and Meghan started the breakup rumors in order to get some good old publicity. She told Sky News, "It actually wouldn't surprise me if these were very calculated leaks from the Sussex camp, suggesting that there's a split on the cards, because either way, if there is or there isn't, we're all going to look." Rumors about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's possible breakup have opened a can of worms, and suddenly there are inside sources and royal experts aplenty who claim that they saw this coming all along. Speaking to GB News, royal biographer Angela Levin claimed that Meghan had mapped out an escape plan long before she and Harry tied the knot. Levin told the outlet, "I think she's a careful plotter." She then added that Meghan hasn't been around when Harry needs her most, especially when it comes to dealing with his mental health. Levin also claimed that Meghan is planning on taking full custody of their children once their marriage disintegrates. She told GB News, "In my opinion, here is what she is doing. She was making sure that he's in a hopeless situation so that she can get the children and he's completely isolated from his family and friends. So she is absolutely separating from him."
The distance between them seems to get longer and wider.
Levin also believes that, should things end, Harry will be worse off. She speculated that he will be seen as a failure while Meghan continues to climb the ladder to Hollywood success.
Camilla and Charles's unconventional love story might seem like a strength to some. However, their unusual beginning could also be regarded as a weakness. For decades, the couple did not build their relationship as a conventional partnership. Instead, they enjoyed all the adrenaline of sneaking off together and hiding their trysts from the world. Because of this, when Charles and Camilla did eventually get married, things supposedly started to cool off. As someone close to Camilla remarked to the Daily Mail, "When a woman's been a man's mistress for 30 years and then marries him, the relationship is bound to change." Apparently, this transition has particularly impacted the duo's physical interactions, with the anonymous insider adding, "There's a certain electricity about sex between lovers which is bound to dissipate after several years of marriage." Of course, it is worth noting that said source also told the Daily Mail that the couple still loves each other.
She's dedicated to the monarchy, and she's made Charles a very happy man.
That being said, Charles and Camilla's marriage is not free of the many ghosts of their past. The Queen Consort is believed to be extremely jealous of other women. According to at least one royal expert, Camilla worries that Charles will cheat on her, as he did with Princess Diana. Writing for Vanity Fair, royal correspondent Penny Junor explained, "She is wary of women who fawn over her husband, who flatter him and laugh before he has even made a joke." The honeymoon phase of a relationship doesn't last forever. At least, that seems to have been the case for Charles and Camilla. Sometime around the couple's 8-year marriage anniversary, the duo headed to Scotland, where they went on a romantic walk near Loch Mick. Unfortunately, this outing resulted in injury. As the couple's former spokesperson told The Guardian, Her Royal Highness had an X-ray which showed a twisted fracture of the fibula. Her Royal Highness is wearing a plaster cast and will be for 6 weeks. She has been advised not to put weight on her leg. In light of the situation, it seems Charles did not exactly step up. Rather than putting in the time and effort to care for his wife, the future king conveyed that he was sick of tending to Camilla's physical needs. Speaking with the Daily Mail, a friend of the couple divulged, Charles was brilliant with her at first, but he's never been very good at looking after others. Apparently, when one of Charles's acquaintances asked him how his wife's recovery was going, the king-to-be was apparently annoyed by her current state. They say that a marriage is not just the joining of two people, it is also the joining of two families. However, when it comes to Camilla and Charles's relationship, that old saying is not exactly true. According to various reports, one of the biggest stressors in their marriage has been the fact that they apparently don't get along well with every member of each other's families. On top of rumors that Camilla has long had a feud with Prince Harry, it is understood that the Queen Consort does not feel fully comfortable embracing the royal family's unique traditions. Neither the intensity nor the ceremoniousness of royal life have been natural for her. As an insider told the Daily Mail, she finds the formality at Highgrove House rather claustrophobic, especially with all the servants. There are so many of them, and it's all so polished that it's rather like living in a museum. Charles, meanwhile, has been said to have a difficult time dealing with Camilla's many grandchildren. Speaking to the Daily Mail, a royal aide noted, Camilla absolutely adores having her grandchildren around her and is always talking about them, but Charles simply cannot stand the noise and mess that small children make. Rumor has it that Charles's attitude has not been easy for Camilla to accept, as the Queen Consort loves helping her daughter take care of the 3 little ones. On April 9, 2021, Charles's beloved father, Prince Philip, died at Windsor Castle.
My dear papa was a very special person.
Following this tragic loss, many people expected Camilla to step up and support her husband in his grief. As one royal insider told the Australian tabloid New Idea, most would think Camilla, who stands to be the Queen Consort one day, would be very much beside him for that. If the rumors are to be believed, it appears this did not exactly happen. Per the outlet's reports, Charles and Camilla did not spend the week leading up to Philip's funeral in each other's company. Instead, the couple decided to stay a few days apart, with Camilla choosing to remain in the countryside, while Charles was left to grieve alone in London. Later, on the day of Philip's burial, Charles and Camilla arrived at the event separately. Afterwards, they parted ways once more. The future king set off to Wales, where he spent some time contemplating the impact his father had on the Commonwealth. Camilla, meanwhile, stayed behind. Overall, this sequence of events puts into question the overall state of Charles and Camilla's marriage. Rather than sticking together in the tough times, the pair seemed to crumble under pressure. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and William, Prince of Wales, also steered clear of their dad during this tough moment. Speaking to New Idea, an insider said, Charles can't help but feel like he's been dumped by his entire family in his hour of need. Although it might sound odd for Charles and Camilla to lead such separate lives, there is a reason that the pair spend such little time together, as they essentially live in 2 different residences. While Charles splits the majority of his time between Clarence House and Highgrove House, Camilla prefers to stay at her own private residence, known as Ray Mill House. As a friend of Camilla's told the Mirror, the king hardly ever stays, and she's secretly delighted. She dotes on her grandchildren and is never happier than when she entertains them there. Interestingly, however, Camilla did not originally intend to use Ray Mill House as a way to take breaks from her royal husband. In fact, the Queen Consort purchased the property in the mid-1990s, long before she married Charles, as a way to establish a sense of independence following her divorce from Andrew Parker Bowles. That being said, when it came time for Camilla and Charles to wed, the royal bride thought that she would maintain the residence to keep a bit of non-royal normalcy in her life. Writing for the Daily Mail, royal experts Richard Kay and Jeffrey Levy claimed, Camilla knew she would need to get away, and get away often, from the starchy formality of the prince's world at Highgrove. Queen Camilla may use her residence at Ray Mill House as a royal hideaway, but that's probably not the only reason why she spends so much time away from King Charles. Back in 2010, royal servants and aides told the Daily Mail that the duo was constantly bickering, raising tensions all around them. One royal chauffeur even told the outlet that he stopped spending the night in the Highgrove servants' quarters because Charles and Camilla's fighting had grown so unpleasant. Perhaps as a result of all these negative interactions, it has been posited that Charles and Camilla almost separated in 2018. Although the king and queen consort ultimately chose to stay together, Radar claims that they almost parted ways in a fast-track divorce. According to the outlet, a royal insider stated that an unknown incident motivated Camilla to feel so upset with her husband that she tried to break up with him, and apparently things got really ugly between the former star-crossed lovers. The source also claimed that Camilla threatened to reveal the royal family's darkest secrets. The unnamed tipster continued, "There are frantic talks going on behind closed doors at Buckingham Palace, trying to negotiate some sort of face-saving compromise." As if all the normal pressures of daily life were not enough to put a strain on their marriage, Charles and Camilla have also struggled following the publication of Prince Harry's memoir, Spare. Released in January 2023, the Prince's tell-all made several accusations against the couple, particularly Camilla, whom the text referred to as an evil stepmother. According to Harry's account, the Queen Consort leaked negative stories about him and Prince William to the press in order to gain public popularity. He wrote, "I had complex feelings about gaining a step-parent who, I believed, had recently sacrificed me on her personal PR altar. But I saw Pa's smile, and it was harder to argue with that, and harder still to deny the cause." Camilla. The Queen Consort is said to be pretty upset about everything that Harry wrote about her, making it difficult for Charles to make peace with the son. As a result, the couple are believed to argue quite a bit about the Harry situation, with royal expert Christopher Anderson telling Fox News that the king feels caught in the middle.
Unless that stops, they're not going to be able to heal.
As a result of the allegations that Harry made about Camilla and Spare, it is understood that the Queen Consort did not want the prince to be invited to the coronation. However, despite all the bad blood between Camilla and Harry, Charles still apparently felt that his youngest son should attend the momentous event.
I want also to express my love for Harry and Meghan.
Ultimately, Charles got his way. On May 6, 2023, the rebellious prince sat in the pews of Westminster Abbey and watched his father become the next King of England. In the end, though, it seems that Camilla was less than pleased to learn that her estranged stepson was included in the festivities. As one royal insider told Radar, Camilla agrees with Prince William this was a spineless move, and Charles should have banished Harry and Meghan from the kingdom instead. Her reasoning was supposedly that excluding the Sussexes from the coronation would be a firm but necessary stance. The source went on to add, "She believes that Charles's decision has weakened their popularity." Unfortunately, however, it is believed that Charles had little patience for his wife's opinions about Harry's role in the event. According to the same inside source, the king felt that the Queen Consort was being inappropriate, a sentiment that has weighed on Charles and Camilla's marriage. As the royal source noted, they can't sit and have a meal without arguing. For the most part, King Charles and Queen Camilla have managed to keep their marital problems behind palace walls. However, in the middle of a walkabout in Wrexham, Wales, Charles grew snippy with Camilla, bringing their tension into the public eye. As the Queen Consort greeted the enthusiastic crowds, Charles complained that his wife was taking too long. Speaking to his aides, the king asked, "Can we try and get her back again? Please, we need to go. I was trying to wait for her, but she goes on." According to the body language expert Judy James, there's a lot to pull from this brief moment. In an interview with Express, James explained, proving he is still on a short fuse, Charles displays not just a bad temper, but also disloyalty here. According to James, the biggest issue with Charles's frustration was that he did not treat her like the royal woman that she is. She said to Express, his wife is the new queen, and he is making a very public scene about her that lowers her status. Indeed, this interaction reflected poorly on Charles and Camilla's marriage, demonstrating a lack of self-control from the king. James went on to say, "This is one example of irritability that has taken too far."
Princess Beatrice has been happily married to property developer Edoardo Mazzi since 2020, but could trouble in paradise be brewing? Since tying the knot, Beatrice and Mazzi have welcomed 2 daughters, Sienna in 2021 and Athena in 2025. It might sound like they're in their happily ever after era, but some warning signs have us worried. So we spoke with relationship coach Nicole Moore, the founder and CEO of LoveWorks Method, to dig into these concerns. In a 2024 interview with the Financial Times, Mazzi revealed that he and his wife spend a lot of time apart because he's often traveling for work. That makes sense. He's the CEO of a property firm that has projects across the globe. He also travels frequently for antique auctions. In October 2024, Beatrice went solo to an event in London celebrating the launch of a fashion line shortly after the couple announced that their second baby was on the way. Her husband was also missing from Charles III's King Foundation event that November, where Beatrice fulfilled more serious royal duties than she was used to. As Moore notes, spending a lot of time apart due to work can definitely put a big stain on Princess Beatrice and her husband's relationship and cause them to become emotionally disconnected. Beatrice and Mapelli have not publicly complained about their frequent separation, but as Moore explains, when couples are apart a lot, it almost always causes their emotional connection to dwindle unless they are steadfast in maintaining a lot of communication when apart. Before Mapelli and Beatrice got together, he was in a committed relationship with American architect Dara Wong for 3 years. In 2016, they had a son named Christopher, aka Wolfie, before parting ways in 2018, which was the same year he started dating his future wife. Wong and Mapelli share custody of Wolfie, while Beatrice is an active stepmother. In 2024, Wong told Harper's Bazaar UK, "Wolfie has had 2 sets of parents trying to help him on both sides, and I just think the more the merrier."
There's nothing more important than family.
But there's still room for some potential drama here, as Moore advises. If Princess Beatrice's relationship with her stepson becomes strained, this could definitely put pressure on her marriage and lead to fights between her and her husband. 2020 was a tough year for Beatrice, even though she got married that July. In addition to the strains of the COVID-19 pandemic, there was also the controversy surrounding her father, Prince Andrew. His friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein led to Andrew facing his own sexual assault allegations that date back to 2015.
At the time, there was no indication to me or anybody else that that was what he was.
Beatrice and Mapelli wedding ended up being a private ceremony with only 15 guests. It was reported that this was due to pandemic restrictions, although Mapelli cousin Dario told the Daily Mail that Andrew's controversies may have also factored into the decision. Then in 2021, an insider told New Idea that Beatrice was doing all she could to ensure that the stress she felt from her father's troubles wouldn't affect her marriage. And that's not the only development within her family that's putting strain on Beatrice. In February 2024, her uncle King Charles was diagnosed with cancer, leaving other royals to pick up the slack in his stead while he recuperates. That May, Beatrice was in the spotlight after attending a Buckingham Palace garden party, and she also traveled to the Middle East in 2024 for conferences in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. As the king continues to experience health issues, it's possible that Beatrice may be asked to step up even more. If she does become a full-time working royal, that could translate to even more time apart from her husband and more scrutiny from the public for both of them. Nicole Moore has advice for how to weather this challenge, explaining, "They should have regular relationship check-ins to ensure that both partners are happy with the relationship and on the same page. It's essential that Princess Beatrice and her husband remember that they are on the same side, even when they have disagreements, because they need a bond that's incredibly strong to survive."
Salacious rumors, palace intrigue, and a secret that might bring down a family. Yes, the royals are back at it, but not the ones you might be thinking of. Sweden's Crown Princess Victoria and Daniel Westling married in 2010. In true fairy tale fashion, the prince was not a royal. He was the future queen's personal trainer. Now parents of 2, Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel have enjoyed a comfortable tenure while awaiting their ascension to the throne. But in 2022, rumors swirled concerning infidelity and even a potential divorce. Speculation about their possible split began back in 2022. In February of that year, the royals shared a joint statement via Instagram in which they attempted to dispel the rumors. Since then, however, the speculation has only grown. Prince Daniel moved to address the matter again in August 2023. In an interview on SVT, he said, "Many friends from across Sweden and overseas have got in touch, and things arrived at a certain point where we felt we could no longer accept it. I don't think there is any reasonable person who believes in this rumor." So Prince Daniel has been pretty emphatic in that regard. But why are people still claiming that the marriage could be in peril? It all comes down to a few supposed signs of trouble. Nowadays, there's a long list of royals who married commoners for the sake of true love. But that doesn't mean these unions are readily accepted by high society or the public. Just look at what Harry and Meghan have been through.
And I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
The same can be said for Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel, who began dating in 2002 but didn't tie the knot until 2010. In her biography, Victoria, Queen of the Time, the Crown Princess opens up about the trouble she had receiving her family's blessing. Speaking about convincing her parents, King Carl XVI Gustav and Queen Sylvia, she wrote, "They wanted to make it clear that I would get the best possible support and backing for my job, now and the future. How could they know Daniel could give me that? How would he do it?" It was also reported that the Swedish aristocracy doubted Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel's relationship would ever become a marriage. Originally from a small town in Sweden, Prince Daniel had both a rural accent and a commoner background, which obviously the elites looked down on. There's no doubt that these outside pressures have the potential to put a strain on such a public marriage. And things only got worse from there. In 2022, Swedish outlet Stoppa Pressarna published the first reports that Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel's marriage might be in serious trouble. According to their article, a source from the royals' inner circle shared news of an alleged affair that had devastated the princess. It also claimed that the Swedish royal court was working hard to cover it up. When the royal couple denied these rumors shortly after, a journalist involved with the story insisted he wouldn't back down. Daniel Nyland, the founder of Stoppa Pressarna, said, "We had very credible informants, including special police guards and other staff close to the couple. I really had no qualms about it. This is about Sweden's constitution." While Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel rarely make outward statements about their personal family life, they felt moved to address these reports. Their Instagram statement read, "In order to protect our family, we wish to make it clear, once and for all, that the rumors that are now spreading are completely baseless." In 2022, Swedish tabloids reported that after Prince Daniel's infidelity, the couple sought out new living arrangements. This also happened to align with Crown Princess Victoria's recent public outings, which mostly took place without her husband. Almost a year after the original story broke, the rumors swelled up again. Once again, the public noticed that the royal couple had been keeping to themselves. However, the royal court stood firm in denying all allegations of tension within the family. In this denial, however, they fed the flames further by admitting that this speculation was much more serious than rumors of the past. Margareta Thorgren, chief of communications for the Swedish royals, insisted that the rumors had been tenacious enough to seriously impact the family's integrity. She said, "This is exceptional, and we have not encountered this before."
Monaco's Prince Albert and Princess Charlene are said to be one of the most mismatched royal couples out there. But did they really spend their honeymoon in different hotels?
I think the party starts now.
Long before Prince Albert and Princess Charlene walked down the aisle, the prince had a reputation for getting around. Over the years, Albert dated plenty of gorgeous women, Brooke Shields and Claudia Schiffer among them, but showed no signs of settling down. The press even dubbed him the Playboy Prince. Speaking on Good Morning America in 2005, royal historian Robert Lacey said, "He's got too many girlfriends, pretty blondes, and I think that people feel the sooner he settles on one of them, the better that will be." Albert's womanizing captured the attention of his father, Prince Rainier, who worried that the prince would never produce a legitimate heir. In 2002, Prince Rainier helped change Monaco's constitution so that if a reigning prince had no legitimate children, the line of succession would pass to the prince's siblings and their offspring. It was widely understood that this amendment was a direct result of Albert's free-ranging love life. But the prince did eventually make it down the aisle at the ripe old age of 53. That being said, the ghosts of his Playboy past continue to haunt him, at times adding pressure to his marriage to Princess Charlene. Over the years, Prince Albert fathered at least 2 children outside of his marriage. In 1992, an American realtor, Tamara Rotolo, filed suit claiming that she and the prince had conceived a daughter, Jasmine Grace Grimaldi, during a brief summer romance. Rotolo's suit was initially dismissed, but a DNA test found that Jasmine was indeed Albert's child. In 2003, the prince faced a similar situation when a second DNA test revealed that he also had a son, Alexander Grimaldi Cast, the result of a years-long fling between Albert and an Air France flight attendant named Nicole Cast. Then in 2011, just days before Albert and Princess Charlene got married, reports of a secret love child erupted.
Is this fairy tale turning into a nightmare? Numerous reports have surfaced that the future princess-to-be has bolted for the airport.
One Monegasque parliamentary aide told Le Journal du Dimanche, "Rumors have been swirling for 3 weeks. We're talking about a hidden child, but the whole issue would be whether he's over 5, because Charlene and Albert have officially been together for 5 years. In the end, not much came of these reports, unless you count adding stress to Albert and Charlene's marriage. In spite of all the strangeness surrounding Prince Albert and Princess Charlene's wedding, the pair officially tied the knot on July 1st, 2011. Afterward, the couple jetted off to South Africa, where they were expected to spend their honeymoon in newlywed bliss. But that's not what happened. Upon arriving in South Africa, Albert and Charlene went their separate ways. The prince checked into the Hilton Hotel in Durban, while Charlene opted for a suite at an undisclosed hotel in Umhlanga Rocks, miles away from her new husband. Palace officials tried to justify the arrangement to the press, saying that Albert had to perform some royal duties during the trip. Journalist Peter Allen told ABC News, The explanation is that he wanted to avoid the traffic in the morning to get to early meetings, so he stayed at the Hilton, leaving poor old Charlene 10 miles up the coast at a seaside hotel. You have to ask, why couldn't Charlene have stayed in Durban? It's a mystery. The early days of marriage were challenging for Charlene, and like her husband, the princess didn't have a royal upbringing, so she came into the relationship knowing how her life would change behind palace walls. Unfortunately, one of the things Charlene likely couldn't imagine was being asked to change her body to fit royal standards. The princess altered her workout routine to get the results that were expected, but she wasn't overweight. Charlene was an Olympic swimmer. Unlike Princess Diana or Princess Catherine, Charlene had powerful arms, a muscular back, and a strong neck. According to Vogue UK, in preparation for the perpetual camera readiness expected of her as First Lady of Monaco, she cut out weight training and increased her stretching time to give her body a leaner line. Albert told Vogue UK that he loved his wife just the way she was, saying, "To me, Charlene never looks more beautiful than when she is natural, without makeup and her hair pulled back." However, the princess's transformation from an Olympic powerhouse to royal-approved slimness makes one wonder whether that's true. One of the biggest red flags in the royal marriage is that the pair has chosen to live separately. While Albert resides in the stunning Princess Palace of Monaco, Charlene has traded a life of luxury for a casual two-bedroom apartment nestled above an old-fashioned chocolate factory. A far cry from Albert's 12th century seaside castle. The princess's home lacks the Mediterranean views and private chefs of her husband, but her apartment is conveniently located about 300 yards from the palace, meaning she's never too far away from Albert. It seems to be understood that Charlene uses her apartment to enjoy some alone time. As one neighbor told the Daily Mail, "We often saw Charlene outside the palace, and she would usually be alone or with a bodyguard, never with Albert. It was obvious she chose to spend most of her time in the apartment rather than the palace."
It's not all been plain sailing behind the scenes, and there have been issues.
Another local told the outlet, "There was a while when there was a sense that she was a reluctant princess, but this is different. There's obviously something not quite right either with her or the marriage, and for whatever reason, we're not being told what." As if things were not tense enough between Prince Albert and Princess Charlene, new rumors of a third love child emerged in 2021. This time, though, there was a lawsuit to go along with the chatter. A Brazilian woman simply known as Marisa filed a paternity claim against Albert in Italy, a country of residence. Per court filings, Marisa met Albert in a Rio de Janeiro nightclub in 2004. The prince apparently lied about his identity, telling Marisa that he was a Canadian diplomat. The pair allegedly embarked on a wild fling that involved jet-setting to places like Lisbon and Milan. But when Marisa got pregnant with their daughter, she said that Albert stopped responding to her text messages. According to Marisa's lawyer, Eric Grimaldi, all she and her daughter want is for Albert to take a DNA test, but the prince refuses. In 2021, Albert filed for sovereign immunity to avoid answering Marisa's claims in court. Despite Albert's efforts to dodge these claims publicly, they continue to impact him privately, putting significant pressure on Albert and Charlene's marriage. Shortly after the rumors emerged, the princess began spending long periods of time away from Monaco, leaving her playboy husband behind. Nothing adds tension to a relationship like a step-parent's failure to accept their partner's children. And according to reports, the princess has had a tough time accepting her husband's illegitimate children, even as they have slowly become more integrated into royal life. In fact, Albert's former girlfriend, Nicole Coste, told the press that Charlene was unnecessarily cruel toward her son, Alexander Grimaldi Coste. The boy, who has been excluded from the line of succession, apparently went to stay at the Prince's Palace of Monaco for a time to get to know his father and half-siblings. However, as his mother told the French outlet, Paris Match, "Charlene changed my son's room, taking advantage of his father's absence to install in him the employee wing." This interaction was quite upsetting for the protective mother, who expressed a desire for a more civil relationship with Charlene, saying, "Given our respective ties to the prince, we should have made sure to support each other cordially. In our situation, diplomacy had to prevail." Coste's conversation with Paris Match did little to smooth tensions with Charlene. Although the palace didn't deny the princess's behavior toward the boy, Albert condemned Coste's public statement. Responding to his ex's public statements in Point de Vue, Albert said, "It was inappropriate. I was furious." Romantic partners typically rely on each other in times of need, but in Princess Charlene and Prince Albert's marriage, things are a bit more complicated. In 2021, the princess experienced some health issues, including a struggle with her mental health. Speaking to People, Albert explained, "She was clearly exhausted, physically and emotionally. She was overwhelmed and couldn't face official duties, life in general, or even family life." The prince was emphatic that Charlene's personal battles had nothing to do with the couple's marriage, saying, These are not problems within our relationship. Not with the relationship between a husband and wife is of a different nature. Even so, the fact remains that Charlene decided to seek treatment for her issues abroad and not by his side in Monaco.
It has been obviously a very challenging time to be here.
Indeed, the princess spent 4 months healing at the luxurious Swiss health facility, Clinique Les Alpes. During this time, Charlene remained isolated from her family, even missing her twins' December 2021 birthday celebration. As for her royal duties, Charlene took a full hiatus from all things palace-related, opting out of Monaco's National Day that November. Princess Charlene isn't the first royal bride to have a difficult time in her marriage. In the 1980s, Princess Diana also struggled with royal life, especially as her husband, now King Charles III, conducted an extramarital affair with his then-mistress, Camilla Parker Bowles. Royal experts have noted several parallels between Charlene and Diana, particularly when it comes to their body language. Nonverbal communication expert Judy James told Express, "Diana genuinely looked happy, but she could suddenly fall into a facial expression that was incredibly sad and reflective, even during her engagement interview. Charlene has shown a similar trait since her wedding, when her smiles of joy would slip into something much sadder looking. The sadness in Princess Charlene's eyes suggests that all isn't well in the royal marriage. Couple that with the fact that the royal couple rarely touch one another, and it looks like trouble in paradise." In the past, Princess Charlene was known to tailor her personal style to her royal role, but she admitted in an interview for Vogue UK she didn't just change her body to please Prince Albert, she changed her fashion as well. Before meeting the prince, Charlene confessed to not worrying about things like fashion. At her first official outing, she explained, "I thought it was all fun, and didn't give my outfit any thought." Soon after, though, Charlene began to take the job of dressing like a royal a little bit more seriously. Over time, though, this sense of dedication has wavered. This was especially true in 2021, when the princess shocked the world by shaving half of her head. Charlene's half-hawk cut departed from the fairy tale princess image most royal women are expected to maintain. Even more notably, though, it seemed that Charlene initially adopted this rebellious hairstyle without her husband's approval, and apparently it took some time for him to get used to it, the princess told People. After the initial surprise wore off, the prince understood the haircut and likes it now too. Ever since their 2011 wedding, Princess Charlene and Prince Albert have found themselves defending their relationship to the public. In 2022, Charlene confronted the press head-on, telling Monaco Matin, "You want to talk about rumors or divorce or my new home in Switzerland? I still find it regrettable that certain media peddle such rumors about my life." The princess went on to applaud her husband for speaking out against divorce rumors, stating, "Albert supported me enormously. We discussed these malicious articles together, and he did everything to protect me and our children." While Charlene and Albert have long insisted that all is well in their marriage, their body language says otherwise. Judy James told Female that many of the couple's social media posts made them seem distant from one another. She went on to say, "Charlene's body language defines her as a free spirit, and she seems to be making no compromises to signal emotional or even empathetic bonds with her husband. There is no physical touch, closeness, or even eye contact between them in the photos she has chosen for social media. This sense of separateness speaks volumes, hinting that Albert and Charlene's marriage is not nearly as solid as they insist."